This hack tip is brought to you by Hack5 and viewers like you. Support us directly at hackshop.com. Welcome to Hack Tip, the show where we break down concepts, tools, and techniques for hackers, gurus, and IT ninjas. I'm Shannon Morris, and today we are going over port scanning options. Now, Nmap scans about 1,000 commonly used ports by default, which include ones like 80 for TCP and 25 for SMTP, etc. Now, if you want to scan other ports, there are several options for you. Let's go ahead and start with the TAC F option, which does a very fast scan. Sometimes a scan for the 1,000 common ports can still take a little while, so you may want to cut that down to only the top 100 ports. If you want to do this, it would be Nmap, TAC F, and then whatever target that you wanted to scan. So I'll do that one. So it's a very, very quick scan. It looks like every other scan that you do, you just add TAC F after the word Nmap. So simple. Scanning specific ports is pretty fun as well. If you want to scan a target for port 80, for example, it would look something like this. You would type in Nmap, TAC P for port, and then 80, or whatever the port is that you wanted to use, and then your target. Press enter and it will go ahead and scan for that specific port. So under here, all you see is 80 TCP. It's currently closed with service HTTP running. So using this option, you can also scan a range of ports or specific ones, all in one go. So if you wanted to do this, it would actually look like this. I would type Nmap again, and then TAC P as usual, and the ports that I wanted to scan. So 80, I'll do 23, and then I'm going to do a range to mess it up a little bit, and then 10.73.31.145, or whatever your target ends up being. So in this case, it's going to not only do port 80 and 23, but the range 140 to 200. If you don't remember the number of a port, you can also do the name if you wanted to. So for this example, I would type in Nmap and then TAC P, and I'll say I'm going to scan for HTTP on this specific target, and then whatever your target is. And this will scan specifically for the service HTTP. Nice and simple. Now, if you know that a port starts with something like, so for SMTP, it starts with SM, obviously, but you don't remember the rest of it for some reason, you can also do this where it will scan for just SM and then whatever comes after that. So everything that starts with SM. I could type in Nmap, TAC P, and then I'm going to use some quotations for SM and a wildcard asterisk. We learned about that back in Linux 101 tips. And then your target. You hit enter and it's going to run for everything that starts with SM on your target. No matter what port it is or what state, it'll give you the service SMS, SMTPS, SMPTE, SMTP, so you see all of them show up in here. Now the reason why we have those quotes is because of that wildcard. Normally in Linux, in the terminal, if you use a wildcard, Linux is going to look at it and think that it's a complete terminal command, not necessarily an Nmap command. Giving it those quotes lets the terminal know that it is an Nmap command, not a Linux terminal command. Make sense? All right, cool. So let's go ahead and move on. Keep in mind, all of these ports can be found on the IANA website that we referred to a few weeks back, and I'll put that link in the show notes below just so you know where it is as well. Make sure to memorize that entire thing. There's like 65,000 ports on there. Yeah, I'm totally going to remember that. Now, I'm going to be right back because it's getting hot in here with more port scanning options, but first, it's time for a word from our sponsor. The Hack Shop is Hack5's premier store for all of your pen testing needs, including one of my favorites, the USB rubber ducky, which looks like a flash drive and it types like a keyboard. It can type scripts into a computer ridiculously fast, like this week's favorite of mine from 3669N in the forums, the hack5.org forums. This is going to create a batch file that will look like the Matrix, and then it will execute on a machine. So you totally have the Matrix running on your PC. That's kind of awesome. Now, we couldn't do this show without your support, so we would like to thank you with something special. You can use the coupon code SNUBS with any order for your very own Hack Tip stickers, signed by me and Darren, because we're awesome. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Again, we couldn't do it without you. We're back, and it's time for more port scanning. Now, to scan ports by protocol, you'll need to add a new option similar to this one that I'm going to do. So I'm going to do sudo, because this is a root command, and then tac S capital U, tac S capital T, tac P, and then I'm going to type in U, or capital U, there we go, 25, comma, and then T colon, let's do, actually I'll do 53, and 25, and then a space and whatever your target ends up being. So I'm going to do same one as usual and hit enter. So after the password, it's going to run something that similarly looks like other ones that you've been using. So you're using the syntax tac P for the ports, and then you're using tac SU and tac ST to specify UDP and TCP. The U colon 53 and T colon 25 tells Nmap to scan for UDP on port 53 and TCP on port 25. Now, if you really want to get hardcore and scan everything, you can try this one, which is Nmap tac P, and then you're going to use quotations, a wildcard, and more quotations, and then your target. Press enter, and it scans for everything. So this wildcard in quotes tells Nmap to scan all of this over 65,000 ports that are known to Nmap. Now, if there's a specific number of most popular ports that you would like to scan, you can also do that one with a target called top ports, and then whatever your ports end up being. So for this example, I would type Nmap and then --top -ports, and then type in however many ports I want to scan. So I'm going to say some random number, 54, why not? 73, 31, 145. And once you scan that, it's going to go through the top 54 ports in Nmap that I want it to scan on that specific target. Now, lastly, is scanning in sequential order with TAC-R. Nmap usually randomizes when it will scan what ports, which is really useful if you want to evade firewalls or you want to avoid detection in some circumstances. If you just want it to scan in order from, the top one all the way down to the last one, you can use Nmap TAC-R and then your target. Things to note though, you won't see a difference in the output because Nmap will still type out the order however it wants, although if you add TAC-V to your syntax, which is for verbose, it would show you the scans in real-time order. And that's it for port scanning. What would you like to see next week on Nmap tutorials? Send me a comment below or email us tips@hack5.org. And be sure to check out our sister show Hack 5 for more great stuff just like this. Now it's getting pretty hot in here. Apparently nobody in San Francisco believes in central air conditioning for the summertime, so I'll be over there reminding you to trust your Technolist, and I'm going to go hang out in a freezer. Bye!
Oh my God!